it's so multicultural. I mean, you're obviously like your call. I mean, you're normally going to be either Cantonese or Mandarin speaking if you're going to Hong Kong. Sometimes you'll get some Tagalog. And on your mission, like some people will have opportunities to switch from English to Chinese to Tagalog, things like that. And it's kind of interesting because on my mission, I served most of my mission like Cantonese speaking, and then 6 months English / Tagalog speaking. I'm not really Tagalog speaking, but like we would work with Filipinos and Indonesians, and like to help teach them the gospel, we had to learn like, you know, words and phrases in their language to help them understand, you know, about the gospel and things like that. But at the same time, when you're in Cantonese work or Mandarin, vice versa, you're running into people who don't speak your language. You know, whether it's, you know, Chinese or English. Or people will try to fool you or lie to you that they don't speak your language. And so I remember I was getting so frustrated because there would be young boys or, you know, girls, whatever, that would like to tease us. You know, like we would speak Cantonese to them and they'd be like, they'd start speaking Mandarin to us. And like there's a distinct difference, you know what language they're speaking. And sometimes you can pick it, you know, out what they're saying, not all the time, but normally they'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't speak Cantonese and Mandarin," and I was like so frustrated because like I knew they were from Hong Kong, you know, like I just saw them come out of, you know, a school, you know they speak the language here because they're at school there, and you're just like getting so frustrated. And I remember there was an elder that I lived with forever, like actually like a year of my mission I ended up spending like in different apartments and actually companions with him. His name was Elder Moore, and he taught me some Mandarin. He was actually a Mandarin missionary, and he taught me just enough Mandarin to like make some people think that I could speak Mandarin. I worked on the tones really good, like really hard, you know, all these things, just so when someone told me that they didn't speak Cantonese when I knew they did, I'd be like, "Oh, that's totally okay because I speak Mandarin," you know, but I'd say it in Mandarin to them and they'd be like, "Oh, dang it." And one funny joke actually about the Cantonese is that when they speak Mandarin, the people who actually like are from mainland or actually speak Mandarin make fun of the people from Hong Kong speaking Mandarin because their accent's so bad. And so if we speak Mandarin and our tone's really good, a lot of times they'll think, "Oh, dang, their Mandarin might actually be better than mine." And so they'll like go, "Okay, actually, I do speak Cantonese." And so that's one of the stories that I loved. It was super funny. And it's kind of interesting too because it's there's so many tourists there. A lot of times you'll have people like, they can't comprehend that you're learning their language because there's so many white people. They see them there a lot, actually, especially in the touristy areas, but they come and they go. You know, they're here for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, you know, just to see Hong Kong, just to go into China, whatever it is. And so to see a white person speak Chinese, a lot of times they're like, "What?" Like they just can't comprehend it. So a lot of times, like you'll be like saying hi to them, and then in Chinese they'll be like, "Oh, I don't speak English. I don't speak English," and you're just like, "What?" I'm like, "I'm not speaking English. I'm speaking Chinese to you." Like so, like in Chinese, you're like, "That's okay. I don't speak English either," and they'll like give you this like weird look, like, "What? Like you're speaking Chinese to me?" And it just blows them away. It's super funny. And like they're super appreciative that you like learn their language, especially in Cantonese, I feel, because like Cantonese is like it's a rare language. You'll have it in Hong Kong, some southern parts of China, and then you'll have some people, you know, out in different countries that are from those areas, or their families, you know, immigrated from those areas, so they'll speak the language. But it's kind of like, I mean, it's not a dying language, but it's not a language that's spoken in a lot of places. And so they're really appreciative of, you know, you learning that language to be able to talk to them and teach them the gospel, whether they accept it or not. And to them, it's really cool. But a lot of times too, they'll also like, because you can speak Cantonese, they want to use you as a language tool. I can't count how many times on my mission, like you start speaking to someone in Cantonese and all they wanted was to speak English with you. So bad. Like for some reason, everyone there just wants to speak English. And so they'll like just start to speak English with you all the time. You're just like, "No, I really want to talk to you in Chinese." And so you like kind of like let them talk to you in English while you talk to them in Chinese. And so you have like this battle of like which language you're going to try to talk in, even though like their English might be really, really bad. Like they have like a couple sentences they can say, and they just want to like just try so hard with this conversation. And just I so many times like you're just like battling. It's like, "No, we're gonna speak Chinese." To me, it was really fun. Like I loved that part. It was just, it was really funny though.